Hey folks, Steve here. Just a quick one today. I am standing here with my smart cart up on edge, and I have a set of scales right down there that I use to weigh the smart bench right over here. One thing I did not do is I've never weighed the smart cart because the smart cart was not made when I weighed the benches. But let's go ahead and check out what the weight of the smart cart is. This one is fully assembled, ready to go. It has the casters on, and it has all of the interior parts to index the benches and the sawhorses. So let's check out the weight of this thing. The cart itself will actually balance on the scale, so I don't even have to touch it. And it looks like the weight is roughly 49 pounds. I'm going to call it 48, 49 pounds. Out of curiosity, I have a smart cart right here. However, this smart cart does not have the casters on it, nor does it have the foot bar, nor does it have any of the interior pieces, which are just small strips of plywood. I would not imagine too much. But what is the weight of this thing before I add everything else to make it more functional? So this is coming in at about 37 pounds. And that's a little surprising in that I do know that these are very heavy duty casters and that there are 4 of them. Then you have a bar, basically a foot bar for plywood, but that is actually 2 laminated pieces, and the same thing on the other side. Then you have the sawhorse index strips right there, and that's 3/4 plywood, inch wide. And then you have basically the bench index when it's traveling. So everything else then comes up to be about, what, maybe 12 pounds, actually. So 12 more pounds will be added to this one in order to make it the absolute functional smart cart that it will be. I have also one more over there. Again, no casters, nothing on the interior yet, just ready to go, because eventually I'll have 3 smart benches, if you will. The one that I already showed you, a smart station, which I am in the middle of constructing, and then I have one of those knockdown pre-made benches that you can buy from Ron Paulk, and they come out of Utah. All of this is on my transport cart. I'm calling this the All-Terrain Smart Transport, ATST. Not to Star Wars, by the way. So with this, if I only wanted to take one bench, it's designed for 2 benches, and it's designed to go in my narrow aisle on my tool trailer. So if I only needed to take one bench, say the Smart Station, I could take the Smart Station. Now that's a smart bench, but the Smart Station and the Smart Bench are identical with the exception of the modification for the miter saw. I could actually take a smart bench and a smart cart. I would never need to take 2 carts and 1 bench. That's not an issue. However, for right now in my little tiny basement here, I just wanted to make sure that things are as much out of the way as possible, and they are at the moment. Hey everybody, Steve here. How you doing? Today, I don't know how successful this will be. It's going to be at least 2/3 successful, maybe 3/3. Let's figure this out. So here's what I did. I have this old bathroom scale that I kept at school where I teach in case we needed to do a weight of anything over like 10 or 50 or 20 pounds, I guess, which is the maximum of some of my laboratory balances. And I want to know how much this bench actually weighs. I don't know exactly if this will work or not, but we're going to try and figure this out. First off, I can do the sawhorses. So you can see that it's calibrated. I'll just weigh them both together, and all I will do is simply hold them, and there you go. So the sawhorses themselves are probably about 18, 19 pounds as is. And I'm just holding them. I am not pushing down at all. If anything, I'm pulling up. But I don't even believe I'm doing that. All right, so there you go. All right, now the spreader shelf. Okay, here again, I am simply holding it up. And you can see, looks to be about 7 pounds. Now, I don't know how effective this will be with the bench, but I'm going to try and do this. All right, I think this is working. So if this is working, then you can see down there we are at about 65 pounds for this bench. Let me readjust it and see if I can't get something different. Here I'm simply on edge, tipping the bench forward, and I am slightly under 65. Again, I am not pushing down, and I am not pulling up. And you can see basically how I have the bench. I'm just holding it forward, so I have a single point of contact over that, I don't know, 10 inches. I'll keep this balance around long enough to when I break down my original bench to put that on there. And I'm hoping it comes in at 100 pounds because I've been saying it's 100 pounds for 5 years now. And if it's not 100 pounds, then I'm a sissy. And I don't want to be a sissy. Maybe I should edit that out. Okay, hey, wow, there we go. Maximum 65 pounds. And I had it a little bit less, but, you know, again, with the balance. I forgot. 7 pounds? 7 pounds there, and just under 20 pounds there, maybe 17, 18 pounds there, and that's 2 sawhorses, so you can divide that up per sawhorse. So there you have the total mass of the bench, total weight of the bench, excuse me, 65, 75, 85, 95, it's under 95 pounds, it's a little over 90 pounds for the whole thing. And I'm thinking that my bench top outside is like 90 pounds. So not too shabby there. Indeed, lightweight plywood. Who'd have thunk? All right, very cool stuff there. Now, of course, I haven't built the cart yet. That's today. I have all the parts of the cart built, and I'll be assembling, I'm creating 3 carts. These are the Smart Cart 1s, version 1. I have only a single set of casters in, so I can only build one to completion today, but I only have one bench built. You just saw it. I just waited. So I'll build that one to completion, including the casters, and I'll get that up and running, and I'm going to put this bench on that cart, and if I had a motor, I would hook it up and drive it around. But I'm going to push it around just because I can at this point. And then I will assemble the other 2 benches, but I will not have the carts. But it takes all of those parts and makes them become one thing, and one thing is a little easier to store than the parts themselves. At least that's what I tell myself. But all I have to do then is order the casters in, and then I'll have those. But really, I don't have any benches to put on there, so, you know, it is what it is. All right, well, wonderful. Thank you very much for sticking with me, folks. This has been exciting. I've never actually had a chance to weigh these benches before, and now I have, and proof is in the pudding. I think I think Ron, when he weighed his prefabricated bench, I think that's what it was.
Smart workbench, you know, the brand new one that you can now purchase, knock down, ready to assemble, shipped right to your door. This one right here.
It was a smart bench. It wasn't a total station or anything. So with that, I think his came in.
How much does it weigh? That question comes up time and time again. 4.9 pounds. Now that's everything. So how much does it weigh? Just the bench. 0.7 pounds. That's amazing considering it's made out of 13 lamination, 18 millimeter plywood.
I think his came in at 67. Now maybe he is using a better scale and mine is at 67 or whatever. Or maybe I just sanded 2 extra pounds off of this thing. Well, I can tell you this. I am happy to know that this bench comes in at under 70 pounds, under 65 maybe, 65 or less. Because that tells me that I accomplished what I set out to do, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago when I couldn't find lightweight plywood, built that thing and always knew that I wanted to build a lighter weight bench. Granted, I will say, yeah, that bench is bigger. It is bigger by 1 foot. So you take this bench, I could piece this out. It's 6 feet long, 65 pounds. So that's roughly 11 and a half or 11 3/4 pounds per lineal foot, more or less. And so, yeah, I could add another foot on there, and assuming that I do that, I'm going to add another 11 and a half pounds on there, so I get myself into the 70 range. Okay, all right, so we can do that math. However, with this particular bench, I accomplished what I set out to do all those years ago. Find the lightweight plywood, build the bench, and make it shorter so it was simply easier for me to do everything that I need to do with, because it turns out that that extra foot not necessarily is a big deal where I thought it would be. Because I was really questing back then for the 4x8 bench and just knew that I had no way to store that. I had no way to really easily transport that. So that bench was out. So I figured a compromise would be leave the 3 foot wide, but get the 7 feet kind of, in between the 6 and the 8. Turns out that compromise was unnecessary. I just was uninformed at the time. I was inexperienced and uninformed. I just didn't know. Now I know. Okay, well, there you go, folks. Thank you very much for sticking with me. If you would like to subscribe, ring the bell if you want to get notified when I drop new videos. And you all take care. Have a great day because you deserve it. And I'm going to go build a smart cart. Or take care. Bye.